Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Let's get started. And our first one comes from South Ratio 7410. Am I the beehole for telling my brother-in-law to pay me $700 for my lost coat when I bought it for $100? Last year, I was at the mall with my fiancée when I saw this awesome cashmere slash wool coat. It was perfect in every way, and there was only one left in my size. The best news is that it was on clearance for $100. So I bought it without a second thought. I have worn it several times last year, but it hasn't been cold enough this year for me to break out the coat. Last week, when I saw the news about the upcoming cold front, I decided it was time to take it to the dry cleaners so I can wear it this week. After tearing all my closets apart without seeing it, I asked my fiancée if she had seen it. She told me she hasn't seen me wear it in a while, so she lent it to her brother to wear to a wedding. I was annoyed at hearing this, but decided not to make a big deal, so I simply told her to tell her brother to bring it back so I can get it dry cleaned. Thursday rolls around, and he hasn't brought it back, so I asked her about it again. Nothing. Come Friday, I haven't heard a thing. So I call him. He said that he told my wife on Tuesday that he got drunk at a wedding and lost my coat. I was super annoyed at this, so I told him he owes that exact same coat from the exact same brand. Last night, my fiance came home from work in a mood and handed me $100. She said her brother dropped off the money and I shouldn't have made her brother pay for the coat, since I knew he doesn't make very much, and I haven't worn it but a handful of times. So I took the $100 and I told her I wanted a replacement coat or the amount it currently costs so I can buy a new one, and that $100 would not cover it. She said he went to the store and said it now costs $700, but she knew I only paid $100 for it, so she told him $100 would cover the cost. I argued that $100 does not buy me a new coat. We went back and forth, but couldn't find any common ground. She offered to throw in an extra $100 of her own money, and said sarcastically that I'm coming out ahead. I argued that I'm still out of coat, and nothing will satisfy my loss except for a replacement coat. She argued that I didn't have to have the exact same coat, and that I could buy a similar one with $200. She thought I was being ridiculous and called her parents on speakerphone. Wow, what a little baby running to mommy and daddy. Of course they sided with their children. Of course they did. They sound like they raised a bunch of winners. And her dad tried to say that a man shouldn't be so hung up on a coat. I told him a man replaces what he loses. Now they're all mad at me for wanting to make a profit from their son and saying that he's not a man. Am I wrong for wanting the same coat as a replacement? Whew, okay. OP, this one really pisses me off because I can relate. No, you are not the beehole. That is your property that you're... I don't know what she is because at the beginning of the story you said fiance, and then when she got the money, you said wife. So I'm hoping she's just your fiance because let me finish what I'm saying. What this person did, this person who you love enough to make your fiance or is your wife, I'm not sure, she stole from you. She gave it to your brother, her brother, who's fine with her stealing from you. So that tells me she prioritizes her brother over you. Let that sink in. Think about that. And he had no problem losing your property, and he thinks he can get away with giving you $100 from what you paid on clearance. That's because you found it on clearance. Now, if he was going to replace your exact same coat and he lucked out and he found it for like $80, fine. I doubt you would care because you got your coat back. But that's not how it works. The coat is now $700. He needs to come up with an extra $600, or his goofy sister needs to come up with $600. Again, OP, people might think I'm overreacting, and their parents seem like idiots too. A man over a coat. No, 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 no. It's not about the coat. It's about stealing someone's property, losing someone's property, and not replacing someone's property. But like I said back in the beginning of the story, I'm not sure if she's your fiance. If she's your fiance, good. I would end it if I were you. I know people might be like, oh, it's just a coat. It's not about the coat. It's about this person who's supposed to love you, have your back, stealing from you, and not giving a crap when your property is destroyed. That person should be angry too, and she should be going after her brother. She should be offering to replace it with her money. So if she's your fiance, I would end it. You know, the funny thing is, if she came to you and be like, hey, can my brother borrow your jacket? You probably would have said yes. You seem like a cool dude. And if you said no, oh well, problem solved. It's your property. That's what she should have done. She should have asked you for permission. Because I know if you took something of hers, and gave it to, I don't know, your sister, your mother, and then they lost it, she'd be throwing a fit. The way she sounds like a brat. So she would be throwing a tantrum, and you'd have to come up off the money to replace it because you were the one who lent it to the person, right? Now, if you're married, if you're saying fiance in the beginning, I don't think you've been married that long. Look into annulment. It's pretty easy. I think you got like a year where I'm at. I don't know if it's different where you are. I think it's a year. But yeah, if you want my end all be all, you are not the be hole, and I would not marry that woman because she's going to be stress over. If she's willing to do this to you over this little coat, imagine what's going to happen later on in life when bigger things happen. What she's going to do behind your back. Think about it, OP. Think about it. And our next one comes from Sarah Marie Zero. Am I the beehole for reminding my parents that my stepsister ruined our family's future? I grew up in a big blended family, where we all consider ourselves siblings, and I consider my stepmom my mom. All of us kids are close except for one. My sister Lana, fake name. My parents think it's just because she didn't grow up with the rest of us, but that's fine, and that's not it. Yes, by the time she came to live with us, she was almost 18. But it's not because of that, it's because she cost the rest of us our futures. See, when she came to live with us, she had been independently homeschooled. She was said to be very smart, but testing revealed she only had about a ninth grade education and no transferable credits. Neither our school or the public school were willing to place her above the ninth grade. Since she was only about a month from turning 18, this would mean she'd be in high school until her 21st birthday, and would be more likely than not to have to drop out anyway. The only other option was to have her get a GED. They were devastated, especially because she had offered from family friends to get her in and through college if she did a specific program that she did have advanced education in. If she didn't graduate that year, they would question how bad it was, and likely rescind the offer. The only other option was for her to get a GED, which would force the family friend to rescind the offer, even if they still wanted to help because she could never get accepted with a GED. Is that true in the comments? I didn't know a GED meant you couldn't get accepted to, I guess maybe it's just that college program. My parents worried over this until someone they knew, who was the admin of another private school, offered to help out. They offered to enroll her as a senior, and she could spend the year catching up, provided they saw it in their hearts to give a donation. Of course, it was $100,000. Ooh, later, she graduated from an accredited high school and moved on to college. My family is just a normal middle class, so paying that meant that the rest of us had to take out massive student loans, and my youngest siblings even had to switch to public school. My other brother got some help before this, but there wasn't a dime for the rest of us. My parents tried to justify it by saying they had to do it. It was their job to give all their kids as close to an equal start to their lives as possible, and this was the only option for her. Wow. What, really? So are you going to give the rest 100K for their education? Sorry. My mom asked why we've all have strained relationships with Lana, and it finally came out that truthfully, we resent her for the huge financial load on us and the entire family that she caused. It's been 10 years, and she's never tried to apologize or make amends, and it's grating. Now my father says that mom has fallen into depression because nobody loves Lana but her, and that we weren't a family despite everything she's done. Everything she's done, she kneecapped you guys. We're all a family, not just with Lana. Are we really in the wrong? OP, knock off that "are we really in the wrong" nonsense. You are not in the wrong. You are not the beehole. That woman and that goober stole your future. Like I said in the story, even the playing field, first of all, F her. But is she going to give the rest of you $100,000 towards your education? She's not, because you guys don't make a lot of money. So no, she did not make things even. She screwed all of you guys over for one goober. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to be realistic. Sucks for her, but she was going to get that GED. If I was the parents in that situation, because I'm not screwing over the other children like that. And you wonder why? She wonders why you guys do not like the other one, because yeah, she stole so much from you. They made you take out loans. Why? That's a bad parent. As a parent, you're supposed to want your child to succeed and do the better. You want them to do better than you, to succeed you and go higher than you. and you screw them over with loans that will follow them to their grave, because you can't write that crap off in bankruptcy. Student loans, that's to the grave. And then that nonsense of them trying to manipulate you. Oh, she's depressed. Good. She should feel bad. She's a bad person. She screwed you guys over, like you said. I wouldn't talk to her at all. Wouldn't talk to the father either, because he seems to be just fine with his wife being a terrible person. Because he should have stepped in and been like, no, you are not taking those children's future because of this little goober over here. And it sounds like the little goober didn't even try to apologize. I assume that's who you're talking about. So she's not even grateful. I doubt she gave a crap. She was just like, oh, she's probably hated school and probably just wanted to get through it. That is insane to do that to everyone, to make life worse from everyone for one person. It's the whole, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one in this case. So no, OP, you are not the beehole. I would cut your mother, your father, that goober out of your lives, because they are not needed. They're idiots, and they made your life worse. Terrible people. And our final one comes from Responsible Yak 64. Am I the beehole for loving my girlfriend too much? My 20-year-old male, girlfriend, a 22-year-old female, and I have been dating for 2 years. Words cannot describe how much I love her. She's awesome. Every day I feel lucky she decided to be with me. And the best part is that she told me she feels the same. We're even talking about moving in together. I'm in a really good place right now. My dad, stepmom, stepbrother, a 21-year-old male, his girlfriend, a 21-year-old female, stepsisters, 27-year-old female and 15-year-old female, and I are going to the mall today. I invited my girlfriend, but she said she was busy. She wasn't busy. She wanted to surprise me and coordinate with my older stepsister. So my stepsister told me to turn around, and I saw her walking over. I ran over, pulled her into a hug, and kissed her. I was happier. It wasn't like I was in a sour mood and moping all around all day. I was just happier because my girlfriend was with me. I had my arm around her pretty much the whole time we were there. Later in the parking lot, my stepbrother's girlfriend pulled him aside. It seemed like they were arguing, and she ended up walking away after. My stepbrother walked up to me and asked if I was happy. I asked what he meant. And according to him, I made his girlfriend dump him. Apparently, she said she wanted someone to love her like the way I love my girlfriend. He was convinced that I purposely was acting how I wanted to break them up. Okay, crazy person who thinks he's the main character. Everyone else heard what was going on and came over. My stepbrother explained his side, which was pretty much just him saying, my girlfriend and I made his girlfriend dump him. And before we could defend ourselves, my stepmom started ranting at us. My dad stuck up for us, and pretty soon everyone was arguing. My girlfriend and I left. We went back to her place. I just got a long text from my stepmom. This basically just her saying I should stop acting so obsessed with my girlfriend, and that I was a major beehole for ruining my stepbrother's relationship. I can't speak to how his relationship was before I introduced them to my girlfriend. All I know is that they've been dating for 4 years, technically 5, but they broke up for a year and got back together. I haven't been around them enough to know that. My stepbrother lives with my dad and stepmom, and I live with my mom. I was only acting how I normally act with my girlfriend. I love her so much, and I think I should be allowed to hug her in public. Am I the beehole for loving my girlfriend too much? Hi, OP. You are not the beehole. Your mom, stepmom, and the brother are beeholes for sure. Because what if they didn't know you guys and they just saw a dude run up to a chick who was his girlfriend in public and started, doing what you did? Do you think she still would have broken up with him? Personally, from what you sound like, they broke up for a year. It sounds like they haven't had a good relationship, and it sounds like she was just looking for any reason to end it, and she went, there you go, that's the one I'm going to end it on. That makes sense. That's what I'm guessing, because it sounds like they haven't been, it hasn't been great with them. And no, you shouldn't feel bad like that for loving your girlfriend. I wish I could find someone to love like that, but that's a hard thing to find. So if you found it at such a young age, good for you. Hold on to that. Don't let any of these people shame you or make you feel bad for loving someone. And that's awesome. She loves you back the same way. You know how rare that is nowadays? Well, it feels rare. Who knows? But yeah, if it's something as simple as you being excited to see the person and be with the person out in public was enough to set her off and break up. It was going that way no matter what happened. That was just the catalyst to it. She would have found, if that didn't happen, she would have found a way to break up with him anyway, because it sounds like they haven't been doing well, like I said in the beginning. So no, OP, it is not your fault. Seems like it was going to be inevitable. he is just butthurt and wants to blame someone, and your stepmom's an idiot for thinking that she's in the right in this situation. At least the dad has a good, head on his shoulders and sided with you, because anybody with, what normal thought would have been like sided with you, because this is ridiculous. So yeah, Pete, not the be-all. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end of this video. Can you please do what I said in the beginning and like, comment, and subscribe? It will really help the channel out, and it'll get you more videos like this every day. Velvet out.